having it?
Birthday, Mama.
Oh, I'm so glad to see my artwork go. So what I was thinking was, you know, using the...
Yeah, I was gonna stand in here.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything in here?
No, but it's not good to stand. You know, Monty Don said never to, but... So what...
I was gonna stand in here and build it right here, and then pick it up and put it in here.
Well, you need to know what I'm wanting to build.
Okay, I thought you were putting 4 legs like that, tying them together.
I am. And here's some corn. Finally, to get down to what I've been looking forward to be able to plant out my cucumbers, my decorative flowering plants, fill these trellises up. What I'm planting right now is called Richmond green apple cucumber. I got them from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Like to get them from there because they're heirloom. And this is actually from Australia. It's fruit the size of a lemon and excellent eating fresh. So we'll see how it does here. On another trellis, I planted a beautiful pink flower called the Morning Glory Split Second. I also got it from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and it really is just for decorative show, and I planted it at the end of last summer, and it grew so prolifically before the first freeze that I fell in love, and I felt like I wanted it in my garden forever. And just like that, the weather dropped into the 20s for a few hours, and I was bringing in my potted plants and my blind chicken. This is actually Jeff and I uncovering the plants after we covered them for the freeze. I was so thankful to discover that we had not lost any of them.
Hey, darling. Can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life.
I never did.
Hey, darling.
Woo!
We could get out of town.
Peanut butter
See
sandwich.
the beautiful world around. Wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that
Like it's
car.
coming back from the dead.
Leave a little note.
Go ahead, Monty Don.
Real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city.
You got me that for our anniversary, and it's kind of like our marriage, isn't it, babe?
Countryside is so pretty.
Can't kill it.
Can't kill it. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to start my day today walking around looking at my plants, my fruits, my fruit trees and flowers, everything that I have in the ground right now. I'm going to check them out, see their progress, and see if they weathered the freeze that we had this week. I am really excited about this mulberry, and it already leafed out and got killed back by a hard freeze we had in February. And thank goodness it didn't kill it, and it just started working hard again shortly thereafter. I do have some little mulberries coming, and I have never tried them. I'm really looking forward to tasting them and trying them because I've gotten some really good. So these citrus have been here a couple of years. I say these because I've got this one and then this one right here, and they have not thrived here. And I actually told my husband at the start of this season, I said, let's move them while they're still small. And as we were covering them, we noticed that this one in particular has buds all over. And here's the other one. It does not have buds on it. Not that I can see anywhere. But this one's super green. So it's like this one has the nitrogen that it needs. That one has phosphate that it needs. And they're both doing their thing. This little guy, super happy with, leafed out first. It's one of 3 peach trees that I have. The only one that's showing has any leaves on it. It's got some buds on it. I will be anticipating covering this with a net soon so that the birds don't devour whatever's on it. I'm super passionate about. It's my kiwi. And it did pretty good last year with filling out, covering this trellis. But I could not find a pair for it. It needs another variety to help pollinate it, and I could not find one last year. And this is some borage that I've been nursing for a long time, and it looks like it's finally getting in its stride. This is red clover, or I think it might be called crimson clover. My husband and I scattered some in this patch of land in the fall, and it is supposed to bloom in the spring, which is now. Hopefully, I mean, again, we had the freeze, this weekend. Maybe it was a setback, I'm not sure, but I will keep you posted on this if it ends up taking off and just being something beautiful. So this little baby here is a fig, and it has done so well. It's got a really nice thick root, trunk, and it produces fruit, figs all summer long. It is so happy here. I put it here on this side of the chicken coop because I wanted it to really fill in this whole area and provide shade for the chickens in the late afternoon when the sun's coming in from the west. It's a really happy tree. It produces lots of figs, and I'm really happy with it. Hello, Macho. All right, I planted 2 of these as focal points in my garden. So here's one, and there is the other one down here. They are both coming into leaf. The other one does have some buds for pears. This one does not. These are pineapple pears, and the lady it's a local store in the community that I live in. She swore by these trees, that they grow so well here. I am very satisfied with the beauty. I just planted these last summer, so they are very new. And I intend to just do different things with these raised beds here. I'm hoping that by the time they are producing the shade, that I will have my yard covered in raised beds. That raised beds and other means, other garden spots for things to grow. Okay, the last fruit tree of the day that I'm going to show is my lime. And this lime has been here about 3 years. It got a gut punch with the hard freeze that we had in February. I wasn't sure if it was even gonna make it, but as spring started kicking in March, lo and behold, there is life. This is a Mexican lime, and it has done really well. It has produced a lot of limes for me. I don't know that I'll get any this year because obviously it's trying to come back to life. I pruned it. A lot of the outer branches were dead, so it is kind of starting over again, but I'm really thankful that it even lived. It is really pretty in the spot that I have it. It's really hard to tell because there's not a lot going on around it, a lot of brown. Almost forgot my strawberry patch. Boy, I probably panicked the most with my strawberries because they are in bloom all over. The white of the flowers, I guess they're starting to transition into strawberries, but the day before the freeze, all I saw was these white flowers. Here's a strawberry, but it turned. Anyway, I just saw these white flowers and I was so sad. I thought that they would never survive those low temperatures, and they did. Of course, I covered them and did the best that I could. They got preferential treatment. I've been eating on these strawberries, all spring really, since the weather started changing. That's really cool. But when I took the cover off Sunday morning, beautiful. They weren't affected at all. So really thankful and looking forward to some strawberries. I have experienced in a while, but this little guy doing great. Really excited. Gonna get a couple of more, put it here, and it'll be like my little banana patch. And kind of in the outskirts of my woods right here. My land does go way further back than this tree line. But for now, this is as far as we're clearing because we're heading this way, which is east. And we'll move back that way as we're moving east. It's the higher part of the property is why we're doing that. And so I am going to be filling this area in with some flowering like azaleas and dogwood, and I have a crepe myrtle already, a tupacina. When I was a kid, you couldn't walk through a patch of clover without getting your feet stung by a bee, and now you can go most of the day without even seeing one, even if you have clover and flowers growing in abundance. I didn't believe the hype about the disappearing bees when I first started hearing about it. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until last year that I began to notice myself that they weren't around. It scared me, and then it made me very sad, and I decided from that moment on to do whatever I could to provide food for them. We always leave a large patch or two of clover growing in the springtime and summer, and I plant pollinating flowers just in case. I endeavor to never use pesticides, and I encourage you to get rid of them too. You can cover your veg with nets or just pick off the invading insects. There are all kinds of ways to attract beneficial insects that will eat the bugs that pester your garden. We really need to start caring about the beautiful ecosystem that was created for us to live in before it's too late.